Welcome to this deep dive into a uh, massive stack of research we pulled together today. It's called The Midnight Architect.
Yeah, it's a really fascinating collection of sources.
Right. So our mission today is to explore the biological paradox of dreams. What actually happens when the mind just constructs this whole alternate reality?
It is definitely a bizarre concept when you really step back and look at it.
I mean, usually when you think about going to sleep, you picture it like a theater shutting down for the night, right?
Right.
The house lights go out for the audience, which is basically your body, and you just assume everyone goes home.
Right, everyone just packs up.
Yeah, but if you look up at the control room, your brain, the crew, isn't clocking out at all. They're actually frantically wiring up an entirely new production.
Well, it really is the ultimate biological paradox. We tend to view sleep as a shutdown, but during REM, rapid eye movement, you have millions of neurons firing just as fast, or even faster than when you're awake.
Wait, really? Faster than being awake?
Yeah, absolutely. Your eyes dart around because your brain is aggressively active. It's just broadcasting these vivid, high-definition worlds completely from scratch.
Right. So if the control room is burning that much energy, what is the actual biological payoff? Like, they have to be doing something pretty essential to justify
Oh.
all that effort.
Oh, definitely. And the research in The Midnight Architect highlights three primary blueprints for why this happens. First up is memory processing, but it's not just simple sorting.
Okay, so what is it doing then?
Well, it relies on a physical process called synaptic downscaling. So your brain is actually physically weakening the neural connections of, useless daytime trivia.
Like remembering the color of a random car that drove by or something?
Exactly. It deletes that stuff so it can strengthen the really vital data.
Oh, I love that. It's literal pruning at the cellular level.
Uh-huh.
So what is the second blueprint?
The second is emotional healing. During REM sleep, the brain actively strips away stress neurochemicals like noradrenaline.
So it's actively removing the stress chemicals while you sleep.
Yeah, it creates this neurochemically calm environment that allows you to process heavy, waking emotional trauma in a totally safe biological therapy session.
Which, I mean, that perfectly sets up the third theory from the sources, right? Survival training.
Right, the evolutionary VR simulator.
Yeah, the idea that dreams act as a simulator to prepare you for real-world threats. But I do have to push back on this a bit.
Okay, go for it.
Well, if this is pure survival training, why am I dreaming about, like, missing a college exam while wearing a clown suit? That doesn't exactly seem like an evolutionary threat.
No, it's a great point. But evolutionary biology suggests that it's the feeling of anxiety that's being tested, not the literal scenario.
Oh, so the brain just triggers an abstract, bizarre threat
Yeah.
to make you practice emotional regulation.
Precisely. It forces you to navigate panic. That way, if a real threat appears in the waking world, your physiological reflexes are already tuned up.
Okay, but if this nightly tuning process in therapy is so biologically critical, why is the playback immediately erased? Like the minute you wake up, the memory just evaporates.
Well, that comes back to those neurochemicals we just mentioned. Because your stress and memory binding chemicals drop to near zero during REM, your standard memory making systems are largely offline.
So you literally just lack the chemical glue to encode the dream into long-term storage.
Exactly. You're building these massive simulations, but the tape recorder is essentially unplugged.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder, what happens when the simulation hardware itself malfunctions?
You mean like sleep paralysis?
Yeah, because I've had sleep paralysis,
Yeah.
and it definitely doesn't feel like healing. It feels terrifying.
Right. Well, that is a classic neurobiological glitch. Normally during REM, a signal from your brainstem actively severs motor signals to your spine. You are chemically paralyzed so you don't act out your dreams and hurt yourself.
Right, so it's basically a biological safety switch.
Exactly. But severe stress or trauma can cause the timing mechanisms to misfire. So in sleep paralysis, your conscious mind wakes up, but that brainstem switch hasn't flipped back yet.
Oh, wow, so you're awake but physically locked down.
Yes, and the dream simulation bleeds directly into waking reality, which causes those intense hallucinations. Or sometimes the system causes false awakenings, where you dream you've woken up, but you're actually still trapped in the VR environment.
Being trapped in a paralyzed hallucination is basically a horror movie.
Mm.
But, the research also points out that instead of being a victim of a glitch, you can consciously hack the architecture.
Oh, yes. Lucid dreaming. It's such an incredible phenomenon.
Right, where you actually realize you're dreaming while you're in it.
Yeah. The prefrontal cortex, which is the logical, self-aware part of the brain that usually sleeps during REM, suddenly sparks back online. You're deep inside the simulation and you just realize, hey, I am dreaming.
And you instantly go from being a helpless passenger to the absolute director of the film.
Yeah.
Like, once that self-awareness clicks, physics just stop applying entirely.
Yeah, you can fly or, literally morph a dark, terrifying alley into a sunny tropical beach. You are hacking your own biology.
Because you're consciously directing the neural pathways as they form, right?
Yeah, precisely. You control the entire simulation.
It really shows that dreams are one of the most profound mysteries we carry around.
Yeah.
I mean, every single night, your brain builds an entire universe from scratch, solely for you.
It really does. And it leaves us with fascinating questions about the limits of human consciousness, especially when you consider that in a lucid dream, you're fully aware and interacting with environments and people.
Which leaves us with this incredible thought to chew on. If you're having a fully conscious, seemingly independent conversation with a character in your lucid dream, you are technically just interviewing a hidden subconscious piece of yourself.
That is a wild way to think about it.
Right. Your brain is simultaneously playing you and the stranger you're talking to. Definitely something for you to ponder before your head hits the pillow tonight.
Subscribe for more mind-bending explainers. Like if this changed your thinking. Comment your thoughts below. Logic Gap 529.